Okay, so last video here. This is an application problem, and it's one thing I've noticed, and this will be the fourth year I'm teaching this now out of this resource, is these questions confuse the kids more than any other. So I just want to try and hopefully demystify this a little bit. So the big thing is just even when you're confused by something, is just try it. You don't know if you're going to get something right or wrong if you don't even start on it. So the whole point is just let yourself get started and you will get through it. All right, so Liam is reading a 254 page book for school. He can read 40 pages in 1 hour. The equations for the number of pages he has left to read is y equals 254 minus 40x, where x is the number of hours he reads. Right, so the thing is, if I stopped this and I didn't do any of this, right? And I crossed all that out and I said this much right here and said, okay, what do you know? Well, most of you would say, well, if he reads 40 pages in 1 hour, if I said, how many pages does he have left after 1 hour? You would just go 254 minus 40, right? You'd say, well, he read 40 pages, so that's 40 pages less. So that would put him at 214 pages. And then, which is 254 minus 40. And then you would continue to subtract that, right? And you would say, well, and that's after 1 hour. And after 2 hours, it would be another 40. And so you would keep going through and coming up with these. Well, all they did is they just came up with an equation for it, which basically allows you to find the same piece of information, all right? And so in this equation, the first thing I want to point out is it's not exactly written in mx plus b form. It's written kind of in b plus mx form. So we want to flip that around. Just unless you're able to see this and you go, oh, okay, I know this is my m and I know that's my b. Just rewrite it. And so the way you rewrite it is you understand that 254 is positive, and then the sign to the left of anything always goes with it. It's like it belongs to it. So just rewrite it. Just move things around. Negative 40x plus 254. All right? So now you've got an equation you kind of know how to work with. So I know that I have a y-intercept of 254. So go up to 254 and kind of approximate it, and that is not even close. But I'm using this like handmade stylus that I made, that I found a way to make off the internet. And then it's minus 40x, all right? So my slope is negative 40. So remember, even if it's a big number like this, you just write it as a fraction over 1. So that means that this goes down 40 and then over to the right 1. All right? So we would just say, well, if it's at 254, then you're going to go down 40, which puts you at, if you look over here, we got that I've already figured out, 214. So I go over to 214, and then I'm going to go over 1, and that's going to put me right about there. So I've got 2 points, right? And then, so what you're going to do is you're going to say, okay, you're going to draw your line. It's going to go there. It's not going to go below this. And so this gives us some information. It kind of tells us approximately how long is it going to take him to read the book if we graph the line right. And it also tells us kind of like where he starts as far as pages go. So it says state the slope and the y-intercept of the graph. So the slope is, we'll say m equals negative 40, because we figured that out. And our y-intercept, which is b, is 254. And then this last question is what a lot of people just leave blank, which is unfortunate because it's really not that complicated. It says, interpret what the slope and the y-intercept represent. Well, the slope, think about it. What number does that match up with? Well, it matches up with this. He's reading 40 pages in 1 hour, right? So the slope is just how many pages he's reading per hour. So the slope is pages, Liam, is it with an E? I think so. Liam reads, and then we'll say per hour. And remember, per always means like 4-1. Okay, that's what per means. And then the y-intercept is actually a really simple thing to interpret. If it's starting at 254, right up here, and then it's going down with everything he reads, the y-intercept, if you notice, is the same as the number of pages of the book. All right, so the y-intercept represents the number of pages in the whole book. All right, number of pages in the book. Right, not the number of pages left. It's the number of pages in the whole book. So it's just a matter of slowing yourself down. Look at this. Try to match some things up. Do a little bit of thinking about this. Please don't run away from questions like these, because they're really good for helping you think and kind of work things through. So good luck with this. Thanks for sticking with me in these videos, and hope you rock the homework.